want me to start it?
You can start it, and I'll branch off.
All right. Hey, what's up, guys? This is PA Blue Collars Outdoors podcast. I'm Cody.
And I'm William.
I'm Andrew.
And today we haven't done a podcast in a little bit, so we wanted to do one for you guys. We want to do it more often. We're going to try to do them every other Sunday if we can. We're not sure yet. We'll get a schedule out sometime. But we wanted to do a podcast outside. You might hear a little bit of wind. Sorry about that. We're trying to sight in our bows for fun today. Try to get them ready for archery season because we all got new sights.
Cody got a new bow. But
I got a new bow. I didn't get a new sight, I guess. But yeah, so this is going to be like a different style podcast. Andrew's kind of newer to the hunting side of things.
completely new to archery altogether.
Right.
Yeah, altogether archery. And we've already talked to him quite a bit about hunting and archery, but we figured we'd throw in a different style of him asking us questions instead of us asking him questions. But we'll still ask him some questions, but the style we're trying to go after is he's going to kind of interview us a little bit, and then we'll just have some conversations in between that. So you're going to start. Andrew, did you have any specific questions?
Ooh.
Like just hunting general.
Yeah, anything in general.
They can be, archery specific or whatever.
What's the best way to archery hunt, would you say? Like, the preferred method, is it like the stalk and prey, or is it in a tree stand? And is that different than rifle, per se?
That's, I mean...
Like, is it the opposite, you know what I mean?
It's all about preference.
'Cause a lot of people like to walk whenever they rifle hunt.
Yeah, and some people like to just sit
And
in
they
the same
kinda-
spot.
Right.
In their heated little tree stand thing, yeah.
And it kind of seems like with archery, you want to sit more, per se.
It's all about preference.
But you prefer to stalk and prey.
I like it because it's fun.
Right.
Your most ideal, like if you're going to talk about like ideal circumstances, is going to be out of a tree stand.
Right.
Yeah, for like, I guess, maximum results, I guess.
Yeah, tree stand, a climber,
Blind,
a saddle. Yeah,
maybe.
but it's different for every person.
Right, because a lot of people have to go to the game lands. They don't have land to hunt on per se.
Yep.
That's kind of where I was getting at with that.
Yeah, so some people like a fixed one. They like a one man. Me and him hunt out of two mans because we like to hunt together a lot.
Right.
Or even if you're by yourself, you have like ideal space to have like all your gear right beside you. You don't have to hang it up.
Yeah.
You can sit your bow on the stand, and you can still have a spot to sit on.
Right.
Like, you just have a lot more room.
So it's really, if you have the space, you're going to want to do it that way.
There's a space. There's also people do single man. So a lot of times, like people just like they hunt by themselves. They like just having like, and it's cheaper too. Most of the time, you can also like get really comfortable single seats.
Right.
You can also get like hang-on ones where you could set multiple hang-up ones, and then you could have sticks, and you hook them to the tree, and you climb up it. Say you wanted to hunt out of this one, you take sticks with you, you climb up a tree.
More mobile. You can kind of
you
just
just
pick a
pick
different
which
tree.
One, yeah.
It-
Just
it-
have one set.
There's
Okay.
no idea. It just depends on your preference, and you're going to find that out as you go along.
As you
You're
go
gonna be
along.
like, oh, I want to start, spot and stalking. I want to, I want to mix it up. You know what I mean? I want to be in one spot.
Right.
I think it's generally the same way in any type of hunting. Like you said, like in rifle season or like turkey season or whatever season it might be, people just have preferences whether they like to sit or walk or stalk or whatever. I mean, everybody has their own style and what they like, and even over time, people are going to change what they like or want to do. Like, oh, hey, maybe I'm tired of sitting here
Right.
and it's not working for me as good. I want to try something different. Or like hunt out of a blind, or like go stalk something, and that could be the case for any kind of hunting, like rifle, like I said, or turkey, or what, even just simply
Right.
like squirrel hunting. Some people just want to sit there, or other people want to move around and walk and hunt, or
Right.
it could work both ways for any.
It kind of
hunting.
sounds like it's one of those things where it's trial and error per se, and then whenever they find something that works, they stick with it.
Yeah,
so then you have
yeah.
the preference that comes in. It makes sense.
Yeah. But a lot of older people too get stuck in their ways. And they're
Right.
just like,
That's what I
we're
was
gonna
thinking
sit
about.
right here in this this is where we hunt. Right here we go. The same stand every year.
We do this exactly.
Yeah.
Spray this.
Yeah.
Do this.
Don't slam your car doors. They get into their little,
Right.
Don't slam that. That's a conversation we had in our one podcast. We were talking about the older generation and stuff.
in hunting,
Yeah, some
per se.
I've hunted with people that they'll only hunt out of a shanty. Don't matter whether it's for archery, it's for rifle, shanty, because it's comfortable. They have space. It's quiet. If they're moving around, if they're freaking
Comfort.
yeah,
Mainly comfort. Yeah.
So it's all, and it also depends on where you're hunting at. There's some places, like say you go over west, a lot of that stuff is thick. You know what I mean? So some people like to spot and stalk because they can stay low, or they like the tree stand because it's so thick. That's all they can do is have a climb or like a saddle.
Right.
It's all there. That's a really broad question that we can't give you.
I knew there's no black and white answer. It's just kind of interesting to know what a preference would be from somebody. I think it's really more of what you have at your disposal. Kind of seems like if you have land and you have a room to put a shanty or anything like that, you're going to do that. You're just going to default to that.
Well, even at that,
Seems
we still do both. Like sometimes one day we'll sit.
That's where the
another
question
day-
came up, because I noticed, especially him, he wants to do the stock and prey
Yeah,
kind
and we
of
do
thing.
both.
So it's
Like
interesting.
with anything, like one day we might sit, the next day we might sit and then go walk around, or the one day we might just be like, hey, we're just gonna walk around today and try and see what we see. Like it's all, I guess, how you feel that day.
If you're
or maybe
feeling more
just
nature like that day, you want to
Yeah.
get out in nature.
You're like, hey, I didn't really see much yesterday sitting there. Let's try something different for fun. Or you're bored of sitting there.
Right.
You're like, maybe we're not going to see
It's
anything.
not as cold that day. Let's go for a walk.
Or the weather. The weather has a lot to do with
Yes.
it also. Yeah, it could be raining, snowing,
you don't wanna
and you're
be
like,
miserable.
yeah, I don't want to sit here. Let's walk around. So, I mean, I guess we kind of answered that question in a sense.
In a sense, the other one would be how interesting it is to hunt small game with a bow. Is that something that's really? Does anyone really do that? Like, I just wonder, like, try and shoot a squirrel with a bow.
So we don't intentionally go out with a bow and shoot a squirrel, just because if you're gonna look for meat, you're gonna probably demolish all of it.
That's true.
With an arrow
But
to the tree.
I have tried to shoot
Or even like
one
a groundhog.
while we're hunting. Yeah, a groundhog. William does that.
Yeah.
Have you shot a groundhog with your bow?
Yeah. Corey's done it
Okay.
too, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily eat one, but
It's more
you
for
can do
shits
it.
and giggles
Yeah,
kind of
but
sense.
I've also missed quite a
Nuisance.
few, or like they have ran away with the arrow in them a couple times.
I figure
you're
that's
like-
the elite target practice, though, because they're actually moving
They're
like
hard,
a groundhog or
it's hard.
something.
Unless they're standing up. Like I've shot a couple that were down, and like two of them, I swear, hit them because I could not find my arrow, and like my girlfriend even took a video of it, and you can see the arrow hit it, and they just took off running. And unfortunately, they went under my shed. But so I don't know what happened.
Right.
To me, a lot of people kill groundhogs because they're a nuisance.
Right. I've shot them with
And-
guns. I think I'm gonna venture into doing
I mean,
that.
you can. I would think like my perspective though, I would have your gun with you in case you miss or
Yeah.
you wound it, and then you can hurry up and
That
shoot.
way it's not running. Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty tough.
Yeah.
To be
So
honest.
yeah, I mean, if you're trying to look at the aspect of being like
It's more target practice. You're gonna, use the rangefinder and everything.
Yeah,
and
it's a good
it's not gonna be
scenario.
40 yards
Yeah.
away.
I mean, especially to kill something with a bow. Yeah, I
And
guess
the
it would be a
target's
good.
small.
right.
It'd be a good like practice, but you also want to be ethical about it too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to be shooting it 70 fucking yards instead of fucking small.
it's
You
a
want to be like
tiny-
poof,
Right.
this big old arc, and it goes right in its head or something. I don't know.
it's probably not going to happen very much velocity anyhow.
Yeah. So I mean,
A rabbit would also be like
Yeah,
a
rabbit.
good idea.
Yeah.
Because you could actually eat those, and there's a season on them.
yeah, and they're hard.
And I have a couple of them in my yard.
And they're bigger, I guess,
Yeah.
than a squirrel, I should say.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit easier to kill than a groundhog.
Mhm.
With a bow, I guess.
What a-
Maybe.
So like, is that all the questions you have? Or
Those are the really broad questions that I
well,
had,
any
to be
basic
honest.
ones. Like think like if you have questions about like anything hunting
How
related.
easily did deer scare? Do scents work? Does the, like, anything
That is
like
actually
that?
one I've wondered.
There's all
that
kinds
does
of
like
stuff.
doe piss and everything like that. Does that work?
I don't know. I've used it and haven't used it and still seen
All of
deer. I don't
the
know.
all of the that kind of stuff that everybody says about.
I'm gonna say I've had.
Not washing your clothes, hanging them outside so they don't have a scent, things like that.
There's what?
Somebody coming.
I
I
wonder
knew
what.
that was gonna happen.
Yeah, whatever. So like the heart. I don't know if you think they're gonna shoot archery.
I don't know. They might want to go up to the gun range.
Oh, like did you? We can move my truck.
Yeah.
You guys gonna get? You guys going up there?
They'll let you know.
Oh.
Oh, that's what's his name. You guys going up top? All right, I can move my truck. Sounds good. Guys, we're at our gun range, and
We're a sportsman's club.
yeah, we're a sportsman club, and someone came and
They had to use the road, and we're right by it.
We had the road blocked.
So the scents. Once Cody gets it,
all right.
I didn't touch it. So the scents, anyways. Back on the scents. Are you like meaning in generally like doe?
He's also talking about
Well, most people are going for the
There.
buck, so people will do like shit with like does.
Well, I mean too, like the scents that are odor eliminating, like those sprays.
is that what you're talking about too?
That too. Like a lot of people say, don't wash your hunting clothes, leave them outside
That's what
to
I
get
do.
the outside smell on them, so that they don't smell like anything like detergent.
I think people,
You can go too extreme with it.
yeah. I think half of it's a money racket, half of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the other half, it probably does work.
It's one of those things where they're always going to just have more and more and more. There
Yeah,
can't be
yeah,
a top of it. You want more? You want to be
Yeah,
more
you
elite
want-
than this
yeah.
guy? Get this.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
gonna tell you that from my experience, I've done it both ways. I've done it where you go to the extreme. You use the bar soap, use the deodorant. I hate the deodorant.
Yeah.
It's freaking terrible. It's like sticks. It's like real thick, like
Ooh.
jizz in your armpits. It's gross.
That's great.
What is it supposed to smell like?
No, it doesn't smell like
Nothing.
any of
Oh,
that.
just-
It
it's
blocks
just-
your
Yeah.
like odor, sweat gland odor, I guess.
And then you buy the spray for
dang.
your equipment. We always spray ourselves down, but
I
You
hang
did
my
the basics.
stuff outside.
at
they're
least.
gonna smell you anyways. But you're just limiting your scent a little bit. To
Yeah.
my
That way they
they're
don't get
gonna-
a huge, like you didn't just spray Axe and they're like, whoo, I'm out of here. It's
Yeah.
more of a, something weird here, but all right.
I don't
Yeah.
think you're gonna block it out 100%.
Yeah, you're kind of like just masking
Okay.
it.
If you're gonna
little
talk
bit.
to the older guys, a lot of them, or even actually a lot of guys, they're gonna tell you scent's big, scent's huge. Sit your clothes out, spray them down. Some people will actually like put them in a box, put leaves and dirt in
What?
there, and like so they smell like
Mm,
dirt.
yeah, like earth.
yeah.
Earth scent stuff.
Yep.
God.
Or they make like wafers you can put in bins. I just hang mine outside for like
Yeah.
a week prior.
My overalls are just hanging
hang
in the
mine out
bathroom,
week-
not
yeah,
washed.
yeah.
Like yeah, a
I
week.
just haven't washed them.
You,
I'll pick them
I
outside.
still wash them and then hang them outside.
Yeah.
I don't know.
you can buy
I'll just
special
start doing
detergent
that.
for it if you want.
Yeah, they make or like they make dryer sheets even.
You're gonna.
That's easier.
Yeah,
Just
well,
no scent, basically.
Yeah, they want everything.
I like that.
But yet, all that scent still trapped in your washer and your dryer from your other detergents. So,
Right.
like, what are you really, like you're freaking.
You'd have to buy just a regular water, and you'd still get the. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
sweat. You know what I mean?
That's the
If you're
biggest thing. You're going to
snacking
sweat
or-
anyhow.
Yeah, even you eating stuff or like whatever, there's stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
If you're
Right.
gonna talk about like the older bucks, even the older doe, they will hit you on your scent. Like
That's why they're
Quick.
older, because they've survived.
They know that
Well,
that
yeah,
scent's
they've had
bad.
experience
They've adjusted
also,
to it.
Yeah.
Experiences.
So that's
Oh.
where it does come into play, where you do, because I have went hunting, we've been hunting, and we both didn't sit our stuff out, or we forgot our spray, and we've never realized if it was it, but you can hear them snorting.
Yeah, we didn't like
Okay.
They make that sound.
100% blaming on that.
Yeah.
Right.
But we think that because I have had it where sometimes I didn't do that and they've walked right in front of me, and I don't know if that's inexperience because they were younger or
They
I
didn't
mean,
care.
This could be a big argument.
Okay.
People get in arguments about it. People smoke. Like I know a guy who smokes weed, and he's like, "Oh, it brings the deer to me."
I've
Yeah,
heard of
where
that. I've heard
other
smoking
people would
makes
argue
them
the other
yeah.
way.
I've
yeah,
heard
the other
people
way.
say
Oh,
that.
why are you smoking cigarettes? If you're spit and chew,
Yeah,
you're
people
gonna
say that
You
too.
can't pee by your tree stand.
Yeah,
and-
people say that. Like,
They look at it as you're putting something unnaturally,
Yeah,
kind of
it's
made
different.
by us
Which
into the.
I've,
yeah.
we've done everything. We've peed by our tree stand, chewed. Well, I haven't.
It doesn't matter.
I haven't smoked by it, but like, I don't think it really affects it as much
Okay.
as people make it out to be.
I'm gonna say it's situational. If you're going
It is.
back country, where there isn't a lot of human scent there,
like
they're gonna
interaction.
be a lot
Oh,
more
yeah.
triggered.
Right.
Where if you're in an area where there's people all the time,
Yeah, like people, dogs, cars, houses.
They're used to it.
they're used to that.
Like the
Yeah.
deer that come through my yard, they're used to all that
Oh,
smell.
yeah.
They're used to savor
Yep,
smell,
yeah,
my
like just
smell.
think like if you're running your dryer.
Okay.
I know I'm going back to the dryer.
Yeah.
The dryer vent goes outside. That's just like pumping scent
That's true.
right outside.
I just cleaned mine.
Yeah. See, like if you got so your deer around your neighborhood are used to that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like everybody. I mean, if they come, you know, deer have way better noses than us, so like they're gonna smell it way farther away.
Okay.
You know, so that's way more human interaction, like with cars and everything. Like,
Right.
Like at our father-in-law's house, he has dogs that run outside. The deer could give, you know,
They don't
3
care.
shits about
They don't
the
care.
dogs that
Exactly.
bark at them. They just
Okay.
stand there and stare at them.
They don't.
You know?
they don't care about it at all.
Nope.
Like and equipment, they don't care about equipment. You could be
No.
running the tractor right beside them. They're still
Yeah,
eating like
your car or quad. They're just looking at you. They're like,
The biggest one I had was between archery and rifle. Are they as cautious like the iron rifle because they're not hearing gunshots? Is it easier when it comes to that? Are they less startled? Are they
I think
on
they're
edge?
more.
And is the meat better in any way?
I would say okay.
Because they're
So
not
that's
so-
3 questions right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So
It's kind of a
that's
loaded
fine.
one, but I wanted to get them all in
We'll
there.
answer the last one first. In my personal opinion, the meat is better in archery versus rifle.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
That's what I was, okay.
Depending on if you're going after a buck or a doe, and if you're going in a rut too, because the more active they are,
Tents and everything.
yeah, the tougher they are. If you get them early in archery, from my experience, I've had it tasted better. I've had a better buck. My first buck, it was also younger too, so to me it tasted better. So
Okay.
that comes
Yeah,
into
age
play too.
also. Yeah, like you're saying, the age. I was gonna
Age and
add,
time
like,
do matter
The
then.
age of the deer.
I
is also
figured
gonna play.
age did, but timing then.
Yeah,
That's
and
good
it
to
all
know.
depends what they eat too. There's so many factors
Right.
that come into some of those things you don't think about. But me, I would say an archery one.
Well, they're
would taste-
eating better too, I would think, in archery season because it's before the winter comes and
Yeah.
everything's froze over, so they're eating good.
hmm
Yeah.
So my opinion, I think they do.
Okay.
Other people might argue with you because maybe they're a little bit leaner in the winter time. But they're also not as active, so like
Right.
they're
Yeah.
more fat to my opinion. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
because like in the rut, also they're like running around like crazy, but they're not eating as much. I should say, because they're too busy running around.
Right.
Whereas prior to the rut, they're busy just eating and eating because of all the crops are still out, or at least around here.
Right.
They're all still out, so they have plenty of a
They have
food
plenty.
source where
Right.
it starts to get into the rut. People are harvesting off their corn,
They're all
and their
starting to fight for
soybeans.
food now.
Yeah, and then plus they're already running around like crazy, and then where Cody says it gets into rifle, it gets into winter.
So
where
they just
they're
got stress all around at that point.
yeah,
And they're not eating as well. They're eating acorns or whatever they
yeah,
find.
they're scavenging.
Right.
Everyone says a rut buck doesn't taste as good because they're running. They're just freaking moving constantly.
And plus their
Hormones,
testosterone,
yeah, the
and everything else
testosterone-
is like running through
That's
their
what I
whole
was
body.
thinking,
And
the
their
hormones
scent
and everything.
glands.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, all their scent glands are going
Yeah,
nuts.
you can smell them. Like if they're in rut, you can, and you shoot one, you can smell it. You can
Interesting.
smell they're in rut.
musky
Yeah, they're like, yeah.
of a scent.
Okay, what was the other part of that question? I forgot. already.
Mainly, since this is my first year doing archery, do they startle as easy, or is it kind of more forgiving for the hunter in archery versus rifle? Because everyone's shooting guns in the rifle, and I'm assuming flintlock as well. So
I don't know yet because I haven't hunted flintlock in
they're
quite a few
probably
years.
startled. They're probably startled in both of those more than archery.
Yeah, flintlock for sure. At least that we haven't.
That's like right after our
Yeah.
rifles over.
so they're still
probably,
like they're just strung out. So they're
you know, for what 2 weeks or 3? I forget how long.
you're
the
gonna
rifle season is.
they're a lot calmer. I would say
That's
they're
what
a
I
lot
wondered.
more. You're gonna get them in closer, but they're still on alert.
Yeah, but also they've had this whole, you know, from the end of flintlock, how many months to October when archery starts to be just calm
Yeah,
and calm, cool, and collective, I should say, and eat food, run around.
kind of forget about
Yeah,
it.
like mark their territories
They survive,
around,
they
rub their
can forget.
antlers, etc.
And it depends how much you mess with them. Like if you're shooting at them and you're wounding deer, or you're
Yeah.
scaring them all
Basically
the
dropping
time.
bombs on them,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like,
Well,
okay,
like
let's
here, I have a little small example of one. Okay, so also like not to throw another wrench into this, but when in archery season, unfortunately, daylight savings time comes in, so that's another big factor
Oh, yeah.
to throw at it. You know, like so do the deer adjust to that?
Interesting.
A little bit, I should say.
Yeah.
So like this plays into my story. So my very first buck that I shot in archery, it came out at around 4 o'clock in the same spot, but it turned towards me. Okay, so I shot at it, missed. You know, it happens. Whatever. It was close, and literally the next day was daylight savings time, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember. So anyways,
Okay.
Daylight savings time was either the weekend before that or after.
Or
I
right
can't remember.
after.
I can't remember.
Because it's usually on a weekend. So the next day, I think it was a Monday. So it would have been, okay, that kind of makes sense. Whatever. My story's not adding up and I suck. But
No.
so the next time, it came out, I think it came out at like 5, so an hour earlier or later.
Ah, I see.
But it came out of the same spot exactly, but
Just
it
an
turned
hour
away.
difference.
It turned the different direction this time, though.
And he didn't want to go out after he missed it.
Yeah, I was.
I had to like, dude,
That
that first
happens.
time, if you don't scare them, they will come back. If you don't
Yeah, like,
they
he-
might not even know what's going on
Right.
if
He
you
had,
miss.
and it was a younger deer, and it's not like he was like freaked out. I just shot, completely missed.
And he just kind of took off.
Yeah, no, he didn't even. He
Oh,
just kind of
okay.
like stopped and like kind of took it all in, and then just like
I'm out.
just walked away. Just walked.
Interesting.
Just walked, and I was like, shit. Because literally, I remember it stood there, and I'm looking forward to like, have a big hole in it and blood coming out.
And he
and I'm
just
just like,
trots away.
oh,
He's like,
yeah, he did, and then literally came out the next day. The next day, so it wasn't a Sunday; it was a Saturday.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it was daylight savings time.
But that tells you a good example. He wasn't really on edge.
No.
You kind of did that, and he was kind of like,
Still fine, and he came
What was
out the
that?
next day in the same spot. So they are a little bit of deer, a little bit of habit, but they're also not.
okay.
To an extent, they're of habit.
Well, I could tell you I'm excited
Yeah.
then.
This is a conversation me and him have a lot about the habit thing, but
Right.
we can go in depth in
into
that.
yeah.
You can get into that pretty
It's
far,
like-
and it's different everywhere you hunt, different
Yeah.
places, it's different. So there's all kinds of arguments in the hunting world, and just everybody kind of collides in there.
Oh yeah.
So off of that branch, do you have any more questions into that? I feel like you have to.
Mine are mainly archery.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why I just noticed, because I never really paid attention to when archery was,
Mhm.
and I just got my license or whatever and saw the book. Why on earth do they give you so much time in archery, but then 2 weeks for rifle? It's like they want you to archery hunt instead. I find that
That's a
odd.
good- I
Why?
never
Why
even-
is
I
that? You
never
get two
thought,
different
okay.
times.
Yeah.
What was it? What is it? September 30th to November? What? The middle of November? Or
Yeah,
something?
you get a
Yeah.
wild archery hunt. Yeah.
You get like 6 weeks or whatever.
It's like
it
they
is.
want you to archery hunt. I don't understand that.
It's because it's supposed to be. So so people who only hunt rifle, or even people who hunt both, they will complain about that. I've had multiple.
Yeah,
I
'cause you don't
couldn't-
get a window.
I couldn't tell you why. I could just tell you that their thought process on it is archery's harder, and it's like
So they give you more time.
in a sense of
Oh.
like you have to get a deer close, but now you're getting all these crossbows that are shooting. People are
yeah.
shooting them 70, 80 yards, which I don't think they should be, but people are shooting them further and getting them further. So it's kind of, I imagine they'll shorten it eventually. But archery was supposed to be at one point a lot harder, so it might take time for it to change.
Okay.
But that's my opinion, is it's a lot harder, so they give them a lot more time frame, because it takes a lot more time to get a deer versus a rifle. People can shoot 300-400 yards if
And
they
they're
want
just
to.
Right.
running around
Yeah,
like crazy,
they're running around like
and
crazy.
there's 3 billion people out there. It seems like everybody's just like goes out the
Right.
first day,
Yeah, and there's a caveat to that. I think rifle is harder to get a buck. in
Well, I
my
was about
opinion.
to say, I think that it's an even trade-off then. From looking at it from not doing it before, you have the atmosphere's better. The weather's not going to be much different from this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe like 60s or
It
70s.
gets cold.
Yeah,
It gets cold in the
yeah.
morning and at night.
But that's
When the
that's
sun goes
perfect.
down, it gets cold.
They're not as startled.
And it's nice.
They're not startled
Forgot
as
they were
easy.
up
Yeah, it took them forever.
Yeah.
They're not startled as easy, but like you were saying, it's a little more mechanical than a gun. You gotta,
We
got those steps as soon as you pull back,
we
which is just kind of
categorize
different.
it 60% luck, 40% skill.
Yeah, that's how I've always it's 60% luck and
Because there's so many factors into your bow, let
Right.
alone you, and let alone the deer.
I just have a feeling that I'm going to walk away from rifle for the most part. If
I
it works
wouldn't-
out for me, I'm very excited to do this. That's all.
I wouldn't totally walk away from it because it gives you still an open window
Well, definitely.
for
but
a deer.
It's just a little more depressing time
I
of the
would just
year,
hunt
per se,
all
in my
three.
opinion.
I would do
There's never any snow anymore for our
archery,
stars.
rifle, and
Yeah.
flintlock. You have 3 chances, 3 seasons
Right.
to at least shoot one deer, and I think it'd just be cool to experience all 3.
Yeah, that's true. At least for now, I'm definitely doing a 360 with that because I've done rifle.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're right. It definitely have it all there. So then you,
I still went out rifle with my dad just for fun.
yeah,
right?
it's still nice
Yeah.
to go out and
gets
like
you out
with
doing
people
things.
and
Yeah, and like try new things in rifle. Like I tried archery tactics in rifle. Did they work? No,
No,
not this time.
That's
But
good to know.
I tried them, but because I didn't know. I'm like,
What do you mean by that exactly? What
put-
kind of tactics?
I put some doe pee out. I sat in one of our stand spots, put my dad there, like where we usually go, on a heavy trafficked area
Yeah.
in archery season. But this was also, in rifle, so it was much later, and I didn't even know if because deer supposedly do have like a second rut phase.
Okay.
yeah,
So-
they'll go in heat per se
Again.
a second time.
So like
Ah.
right around that time, they claim that's when I used the deer urine to try and attract them.
Right.
It was a total experiment. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It is a total experiment. It did not work.
But it
so,
just didn't work.
So I don't know. I mean,
I think there's factors where they're still kind of high strung and they're trying to run away, but they're also trying to get laid and they're
we
just like,
did. I shouldn't say
Right.
it was a complete fail because we did see 2 doe far off, and we did hear a snort like immediately in the morning.
Okay.
And I think it's harder for you to get into your stand or where you're going to go hunting at and rifle season without spooking something also. Because Cody said they're more on edge.
Right.
So if you make one little noise or they smell one little thing, I think in rifle they're just like gone. Whereas like archery, they're just like, oh, that could just be whatever.
Branch
but also,
falling.
also there's a lot more foliage in archery season to kind of disguise and cover you.
That was
versus
my
rifle.
biggest thought. Yeah, it's actually still green.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Until like late October.
and which
Stuff
can
starts browning.
hinder
Yeah.
you too because you might not see a deer come up until it's like right there, so that can hinder you.
Kind
for
of a
archery.
trade-off. They can't
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah,
well. You have
oh,
to be
yeah.
ready
Or
now.
you can't get a shot off because these
Yep.
leaves are in the way.
Yeah, and a leaf can mess you up, man. Like a branch.
Yeah, like you'd be amazed to
Oh,
see how
yeah.
much farther you could see in rifle than archery season.
Yeah, and how much you can see in archery, and you can't see the branches that you'll hit, and you'll be like, "What the? How's my arrow?"
Right. And then you
You know?
realize, oh, there's a branch.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna send this out also. Like, I feel like if you want to go small game hunting, that's a good entryway into getting to know where you're gonna archery hunt at.
That's a
Like
good
you can
thought.
you can kill 2 birds with one stone. You can go small game hunting, get some rabbits or some squirrels, and also scout for deer in the area where you want to archery
Yeah.
hunt. You can like see some sign, or like if it's all new to you, or even if it's a place you've been hunting for years, you can get some new insight on, hey, where are the deer going this year?
Right.
Or what are they doing? Or you
it makes
know,
me jump a little time.
yeah. But like, you know what I mean. So we kind of did that too last year because like it used to be. Small game season didn't start till October. Well, now it's the whole way back to September, so that's even before archery. So you can get really close, in-depth look at what's going on, what are
Right.
the deer doing.
Yeah.
You could even just sit in your tree stand and small game hunt and see maybe because we don't have a lot of time to hunt,
Right.
so like we try and compile so much stuff into the time that we have. So we
Right.
come up with that idea. Hey, let's go squirrel hunting so we can see what the deer are doing. Before
Right.
archery.
And that is another thing. If you do talk to people, they'll tell you not to do that because you're putting your scent in there. But from our experience, it hasn't affected our deer. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you're maybe on public land It might.
Right.
But private land, it hasn't affected. We didn't go enough where it affected us. Like, we weren't going every day. You know what I mean?
No,
We're
we
going
just go on like the weekend.
weekend, just kind of
Right.
like a
just in the
weekend.
morning,
Yeah.
like till noon. Okay, we're done.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's a big thing. You don't want to put your scent in there too much. Because I believe in that. I do believe that if you put your scent in there, it will deter them from where you want to
just
hunt.
start
They
going
might
different
still come
routes.
to your area, but they might not come to that general
That area that you're
vicinity.
staring at, they'll stop coming.
Yeah. So, I mean, I 100% believe in that, especially if you're running into older deer and such. But
That's actually an interesting
me
thought
check
because
go ahead, talk.
I want to put a tree stand in the corner in my yard,
Mhm.
back where behind the targets.
Yeah, where we lost all our area.
But that's the path that they take. So I'm curious if that's a bad idea to put it back there. Basically, I'd be like right on top of their path.
yeah, like on top of them.
So maybe I should put it in a different area to face the path, but far enough away.
Yeah, you kind of want to be away from the.
Yeah, not like right on top of them, like you're
Just
saying.
in-
Like
okay.
you're like
Maybe have it like 10 or 20 yards
like
away.
crowding them, I guess. I
20
guess.
yards.
Probably keep it 20 yards away, so I'll have to find the right
Roughly.
tree.
Yeah, so you can watch them at a distance, and they're not completely spooked. I guess.
Now I got to decide between a tree stand or one of those tripod ones that you just put out.
I
And then
would
you
just
can move it where you want to, because if I might not have a tree in the perfect spot for that path, but if I got one of them, I could move it.
Yeah, and put it
Where
wherever
I
you
wanted
want it,
to.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to
And
decide
you
on
know,
that.
it just depends if you want to keep that in your yard or you just want to keep a tree stand in a tree.
Right.
That's if you want to keep moving it, and
Yeah, 'cause
that's
then
so
it's more
much more
versatile,
to
you can
rust
move it.
too after time. Too, 'cause
Yeah,
it's all
that's
metal.
true.
And your cushion goes to crap
This is true.
if you
Yeah.
don't take them off and just let them out.
Well, just
there.
like anything else, you can get huge with it too. I saw that they make like blinds.
Oh, yeah,
you
they
climb
go
up in there
on.
and you have a blind that goes
the
all
whole way
around you and
yeah.
everything.
I don't think that's really that's me. I don't think that's necessary.
No, not for
They're
archery.
gonna
at
see
least,
you
no way.
anyways.
I've hunted out of them. They're very uncomfortable in archery.
It's
That's
like a
good to
blind
know.
on the ground. Like you're
Okay.
just struggling to shoot out of it. Plus, it's not like a blind because you don't have the foot space.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Some
you're
of them
standing
you
up
do,
and
I
you're
guess.
kind of feeling
Okay.
like you have to be hunched and you're trying to shoot through a little window.
Right.
You only have like so much.
I saw that. They're not even, most of them aren't even 6 feet
No.
tall. And I'm thinking of people like Cody. Like,
Might as well just
he's
sit
like
down.
6 feet tall. How's he standing in there doing all this?
Like, I think you'd just be better off putting a ground blind down and just getting a nice seat and freaking sitting
Heck
in that
yeah,
and
you can
shooting
shoot
that.
right out
I
here.
might just do that.
That's what I'm
I could
gonna
shove
try.
it right between the trees
Yeah,
back
and
there.
then you can even take it anywhere and just.
So
throw
I
it
could.
out.
So I never thought about this. So instead of a tree stand, I could just stay ground level per se.
But I'm
I'm
just
gonna
saying
try it
they're
this
gonna
year.
they are gonna smell you easier.
If you're on the ground,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can test it. William's gonna test
Trial
it.
and error.
Yep, I'm doing it this year. I'm gonna hunt out of a blind archery.
People
That brings me
people
to
do
the
it.
last one. Is I think we touched on it before. Are their senses like a lot better than a dog's? Like, can they see better or smell better? Which one can they? Is it like
They
equivalent to
can't
something like a
see
dog?
I don't think they can see
They
better
can't
than a
see
dog.
well
Okay.
at all.
But they can smell
They
everything.
can smell. So if I'm right, they're actually like 10 times. Their sense is like. Is it
Sense of
10?
smell.
Yeah, their sense of smell is like 10 times, or it's like 10. 4. No. Don't even quote me on this because I don't know. But
Something
it's high-
times.
It's high. It's 10 times. It's 10 times a human's.
A human.
sense. Yeah, because there's like so.
Wow.
I can't remember how it breaks down. I remember reading it, but I can't tell you the exact fact. But it's like 10 times more, or 100 times more. It's way more than us. So they can smell right. Their sight is shit.
I think they can literally
That's good
just
to know.
like blurred shapes is their sight.
Movement.
From what that I've like read and seen on YouTube, like that's supposedly their sight is like just general shapes.
and the only color
Interesting.
they supposedly can see is this blue.
Yeah, like
I
bluish
did
gray
remember that. I see the internet. Yeah, and all of my
with all the old people with the
my
blue
knocks
jeans.
that glow are of course blue.
Blue, yeah.
So I messed
Well,
up.
they ain't
there.
gonna see. When you're shooting, they're either dead
That's
or they're
true.
ducking it or you
Yeah.
missed. It don't matter. Who cares?
That's
Your knocks
true.
aren't. Unless you have blue fletchings that are gonna hang on the tree. Or
That's
you're
why
gonna-
I think like when you're in your tree stand with all your camo on or whatever the heck you wear or whatever, because that's a whole argument also. They can just see the movement. They can't really make out your shape.
It's just if you're doing this, they're gonna see that.
Oh yeah, or like you
They're
just
going,
even
what the hell is
moving, they're
that?
like
Yeah.
a tree. You know, I mean, if you just turn and you're like drawing your bow, they know like hey, a tree limb does not do that.
Right.
Pretty much. I
Pull,
think that's their-
two different ways.
Their brain process, and they're
That's
like, there's
true.
obviously something up there, like
Yeah.
a predator or something.
So we walked around your questions a little bit. I want to answer them
Oh, God.
directly from my opinion. So to me, tree stands the best to hunt out of. It is
Okay.
by far, if you're going to archery hunt, it's it's the best to hunt out of.
I would agree.
100%.
Now you're
Especially
standing
for a
up,
beginner.
or are you staying seated, or
What's that?
like with a gun, you don't have to necessarily stand up with a bow.
You
You kind
stand
of got to
up,
get
you
up.
move.
Huh?
You have to shoot. You can shoot when you're sitting down.
It's
That'd be
hard.
pretty
You
hard.
have-
That'd be pretty hard.
You have to. You only got so far because you're hitting, like.
Right, you got everything around you. The tree.
Yeah,
even.
you're gonna hit the tree when you pull back. The second question, I don't know how in order, but about scent. Scent does matter, but in my opinion, it doesn't matter as much as
Other things that
as sitting your
Okay.
stuff out in dirt and washing it in the detergent and putting the deodorant on. They're gonna smell you anyways. You just mitigate the smell as much as you can, and if that helps, it helps. But me, I just stick it outside, let it get wind. And that's me personally.
Basically,
Yeah,
just
and
do
we
s-
just use a spray.
Use
Right
a spray.
before we go
Okay.
in
Yeah,
the woods,
right before.
we spray everything: bow, clothes, backpack, etc. Maybe even once you get in your stand, just spray it around a little bit. That's just what we
Okay.
do. Whatever. It's
So
a
it's really
habit.
just do something, not nothing, and
Yeah,
just call it a
something,
day.
not nothing.
As long as you're trying.
And there's
doing
sometimes I haven't done it.
Yeah. Or you forget and you're just like, ah,
You're-
screw it.
Which
Right.
it has affected
I never
me.
have,
So I
see?
believe if you got the time, set your clothes out. If you can do it for a week, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nothing too. Okay.
Just hang them outside. If they get rained on, they rain, whatever, you're going to get them wet anyways. They
Right,
dry in
yeah.
the sun, whatever.
There's always a spot to put them now.
Yep.
Okay.
The other question was: Is archery a little bit easier to see deer? Or what? I don't know how you worded it. Or what was it? It was
like startled, like
startled. Yes, if they're a little bit more startled,
on
I would
edge.
say no, not I. No, because
Yeah.
you'll get them coming in a lot closer. You get more chances.
You see more deer closer in archery. Whereas rifle, you just typically see them running somewhere, or maybe they come
Right, you get a
out
glimpse.
like
Yeah.
300 yards away.
You'll see them walking and stuff.
Yeah,
You
you'll
just
see
gotta be in
them
the right spot.
way closer, way closer.
Because I think you also told me that you don't really want to shoot a deer over like 40 yards.
I would
You
not.
wanna
It's good
stay-
to know that you
I
get
would
the
not,
op-
no.
I would stay
absolutely
within
not.
30.
Yeah.
For you beginning, I wouldn't shoot anything over 30.
Even
Okay.
40's too far.
Yeah, 40.
40's
I
way
shot mine at
pushing
42 yards. I shouldn't have shot at 42 yards.
mess them up.
It was the last day. Big but I talk about ethics, but everybody makes their bad decision on shooting, and that was mine. But I
Yeah.
somehow got it. And
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
even with a gun, there's ethical things also.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you
So-
got to keep everything in mind.
and and then what's another question you had? I feel like there was a couple more
The
in there,
meat?
but the meat.
We kind of really didn't walk around that.
No,
Yeah, you were
we
pretty
went
direct
direct
with
to that
that.
one.
It was all in my face, yeah.
Okay, here. So this is. I think we should end it. We're gonna end this with. I'm gonna ask Andrew a question, and William, you can think one while I'm asking him what to ask him.
Okay.
boy.
So my question. Something poop on my computer. What the fuck? Okay.
I heard that.
So my question is, how are you going to go into hunting? Like, are you going to go into it? Like, I guess this is more of like an ethics question. Like, are you
Okay.
going to go into it where you're gonna? You just use the example if you shoot them within past 40 yards. Are you going to try to like make sure that you make nice shots? You're cleaning up. If you wound a deer, you're gonna follow it until you can't find it no more. Like, how are you gonna go into hunting? Like, that's what I'm asking you. Like, what way are you going to hunt, basically?
Patiently, I guess is actually the overall way to answer that one. Definitely patiently. So like what you were saying, like if it's 45 yards away and it's half behind a tree, I'm just gonna be like, all right, good to know there's a deer that does come here. I'll see you later, and I'll just be patient about it. And it is what it is, but that was a nice day because I saw it and I was outside around life. That's why I'm excited about archery, because I want to feel life come up around me in the morning. Because in rifle, which is all I've ever done, I never felt that. You'd see a squirrel once in a while fucking with you, but other than that, you're just like fuck off, and it's like, where's the rest of the life? That was always my
Yeah.
biggest question, is you can sit in one spot for 4 hours and you don't know why the life doesn't come back around you and pretend you don't exist, and you just don't, nothing comes alive. So I'm excited and hopeful that with archery that's better. I hope that it's
I
just,
think you get like
I want to feel more one with nature and have
Yeah.
life. I want to see it all living its own life like I'm not there. I just want to see
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
firsthand.
Oh, you get that with archery.
Not
You
through
can-
a video or anything, but
It's
firsthand.
like a first-hand experience.
That's what I
with
want.
Archery. Oh man, it's like so exhilarating to just see deer that close, and you're just like,
Right.
because yeah.
But that's
it's
gonna let me be
still-
patient.
Yeah.
That'll let me be patient and not all panicky. Like, ooh, there's one, I gotta get him. I'm just gonna be like, all right, that's cool.
You may get
maybe I'll get him
days-
tomorrow. Maybe another day. But I got to
Yeah.
look. I got to see this motherfucker over here, woodpecker or something. You know,
Yeah.
things like that.
And that's what I'm hoping. Like
That's just how I am, though.
that's what I'm personally hoping is that it's going to be hard when you're seeing something close. You're going to want to take those shots because there might be days you're out there that you might not see anything
At
at
all.
all. You might
Right.
go 2 weeks, you might not see anything. But that one time you're out there and you see something, it will in your brain that close. You're going to be like, this is worth it.
Right.
So I think like coming into hunting,
Like a gut feeling. You mean?
yeah,
You know whether it's a yay or a nay in a way.
because you're gonna
Yeah.
go out there and you're like, this is worthless. Why am I out here? Why am I doing this? This ain't fun. I'm sitting out here for nothing. I'm not.
Oh
seeing
yeah,
anything.
I've thought
This
that.
sucks.
I'm
Like-
excited because I, for once, finally get to do it in my own yard. So I think I'm excited about that sense too. I get to just kind of walk outside,
And you can do it however you want.
just kind of be one with that area over there. You know,
And when you get a deer, just call me or William up, and we'll help you
that sounds
figure
good.
the rest out. And if we're, one of us should be available.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
live close.
Right.
So if you do hunt there, but you know what I mean. If you do get a tree stand and do a double, I'll come over and sit with you.
That'd be
and-
cool.
We
Yeah.
could even
Okay.
film it.
Yeah.
Why not?
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to film.
All right. You have a question? You think of a
I
question?
have a question. It's kind of broad. So, are you gonna be egging for like a big buck, or just a legal one, or are you just gonna be okay with a doe to get experience, or what is your like ultimate
Anything. I'm not a trophy
like this
kind of
first
guy.
year? This first year.
I'm not really. I don't know if I ever will be. I'm not a trophy kind of guy. I was the only person I ever really hunted with before you guys and Patrick was my grandpa, and he kind of taught me. Like he told me that anytime he ever got a deer, he was always by himself, and he would sit with it and cry for about 10 minutes because he felt bad. But it's a Native American thing. He knew that you have to know how to do it, so you just be proud of yourself and the animal and thank it. So he'd thank it and just kind of cry once in a while. But he never saved the antlers. He never saved anything.
Really?
He just used the meat. That's it,
Wow.
just the meat. So I just kind of, one of those things. I don't really pay too much attention to it, to be honest. I just think it sucks because not a lot of them are legal. But that's just the
yeah.
population. Everybody's
Yeah.
killing
Yeah.
them. But
Yep.
so the answer would be just a legal one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. That's a
You
that's
just
a good
be
answer.
satisfied.
Pre-
Yeah.
Preferably not too young of one, though. I don't want to
Yeah.
kill a young one.
Well, yeah.
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 And I feel like once you do get your first one, like at least me, I thank the deer every time for their just providing. I
Right.
don't know if that's
We've
just
talked
because
about
I
that before, yeah.
because I consciously think about like I'm probably no percent Native American, but my family is, and I don't know why. Just that to me, I
Just
feel like
feels right.
I'm taking the life, and to me, it's like. In a sense, like I don't know why I look at it like not quite like a dog, but it makes me feel like it
Yeah, I can
in a sense.
relate to that. Yeah.
So like I thank them, and I feel like so I've never. That's kind of how I.
You're the same way, yeah.
Not everybody's like that, and that's okay.
No,
That's
it
fine,
can
but-
be a sport for people because it is a sport, and
Yeah.
it can be just that. And a lot of people, I think, do that. They
Yeah.
just they can cut that part off and just let it be a sport.
Mhm.
I'm just the type that can't. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna kill when it's too young, but one that's legal, and it could be anything.
That's good. Great question. Thanks for
Yeah, it was a
coming
good one,
in
man.
on our podcast.
And shooting with us today, and we all didn't get very far, but whatever. We got
Yeah.
somewhere.
It
No,
takes
we didn't.
it takes time, but just to let you guys know that if you're listening to this onto Spotify or iTunes, we do video this. All our podcasts going to be on YouTube. We're out here at the range talking. If it sounds like crap, we apologize, but we're working with. I wish you could see our little setup right here. We also have new hats. If you guys want to check that out, we're going to make a short on it. We're going to do a giveaway at 350 subscribers on our YouTube.
And shirts.
And we also have shirts, so buy a shirt.
Different colors, styles. We also got a couple different style hats, also a couple camo ones. We can get different colors also. But these are the two main colors we have, plus a couple camo ones. So check those out. They're pretty affordable. These are $20. The other ones are 15. I don't know where you're gonna go to get a hat for $20. And plus, it's got a logo on it, so just it supports our channel. And we don't really make money at YouTube, and we kind of just do this all out of pocket. So we'd like a little better setup for our podcasts and etc. and keep bringing you guys good YouTube content.
Yep. So that's our plan. We're just going to use any profit we make out of our shirts or our hats and anything like that. Maybe eventually we'll set up a Patreon, but we enjoy you guys stopping in and listening to us babble about God knows what, because we don't know what. But thanks for joining us. Stay tipsy, guys.
No, my.
You know.
I'm not done.
What?
So I didn't hit stop yet.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me when.